So we're standing outside the Speed Dial restaurant with Tristan Gemmill. Your co-worker Zidane's kind of very much moved on. Is it a threat to your business at all, this?
I don't think there's any animosity between Robert and Zidane. I think Robert's been fairly supportive of Zidane. Zidane's helped Robert out in the past when, well, obviously when he was working there, but you know, with the odd shift and stuff. I think it's competition of sorts, but it's also diversifying the street, and it's going to bring people along to the neighbourhood. So I don't think Robert sees it as a threat. I think I think he helps out at the opening and stuff as well. So I think he's pretty supportive of it.
And he's got other things on his mind now, hasn't he? Anyway, what with impending weddings and stuff like that with Michelle. How's he feeling about all that?
Well, Robert doesn't do anything by halves. When he gets his mindset on something, he does it properly, and he's certainly trying to get himself physically fit and strong after the sort of psychological aspect of the testicular cancer, and I think he wants everything to be perfect for his and Michelle's future. Whether it is or not is a whole other question. Nothing's
ever perfect in soaps. There's always something that comes along to ruin it.
Exactly. It's all about conflict and tension, isn't it?
Yeah. And Michelle's warring offspring and the fact her relations with them, surely that's going to kind of come into it. We know Ryan's coming back into it. We've seen the other son Ali on screen already. Yeah. How's that going to play out in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think an interesting thing about that is that I think that might end up, I don't know for sure, but I think that might end up bringing Michelle and Robert closer together rather than further apart, because it's something that's massive that's come into her life, and they've had a little bit of a rocky road, but they've dealt with things pretty well, and they've managed to stay together through some tricky times. So I think the Ryan and Ali situation might actually bring them together, because Robert's going to have to help her deal with that. And they're going to have to be pretty solid to cope with all the fireworks that are heading her way.
You're also going to be exploring quite a controversial storyline, Robert taking steroids in the run-up to the charity boxing match. How did you feel when you were handed that storyline?
Well, I think it was interesting from a psychological point of view. It's not outlandish to think that a bloke who's had testicular cancer, who's had a testicle removed, who is pretty alpha male and pretty sort of proud bloke, would feel a little bit shaken by an episode like that. So in my mind, he starts exercising, and he starts to try and seize the day and make the most of this reprieve he's been given, and he probably overdoes it. And that's why he gets into those kind of muddy waters. Yeah,
it's quite interesting though, Coronation Street kind of exploring various aspects of masculinity, with what's happening to David and Robert. It seems to be the kind of tone of the show, isn't it, at the moment, to kind of explore the pressures facing men maybe in this day and age.
Well, I think it's topical, isn't it, with everything that's going on in the wider world of what established male behaviour has been in the past, and what perhaps it should be aspiring towards in the future. And as always, we try to hold a mirror up to what's going on, and I think the producers have timed that pretty well.